Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Getting back to work on the MR2. When we left off in the last video, I'd pretty much wrapped up most of what I needed to do on the chassis side as far as prepping to install the V6. Still waiting on those couple of firewall plugs and whatnot that I'd ordered. Hopefully I have those in the next day or so. But what I am going to do in this video is start working on cleaning up the transmission. Things covered in grease and nastiness, so I need to get that all cleaned up. And then I want to try and see if there's like an inspection plate or something I can remove, just to try and figure out what differential is in it. As according to the previous owner, it does have a Cusco, but it is unknown which one. So that is the first thing on my list, getting the transmission pulled out from under the car and starting to get some cleanup work done on it. All right, so here is the beast that I have to work with. I mean, it's actually not terrible, but there was some sort of leak, whether it was an old leak from a CV boot or coming out the side seal there, that this whole side is pretty full of gunk and whatnot, needs to be cleaned off. It's not too bad around here. And then inside the bell housing, it's pretty filthy, just from the years of the clutch use and abuse. So I need to just get all this cleaned out. And then I'm not sure if I can pull this plate off here on the end to try and get an idea of what's going on in there. Like I said, there's supposed to be limited slip in here. I'd like to see if I can figure out what it is. If it's a Cusco like I was told or whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of next on the list. Get this thing cleaned up and see if I can do some inspecting. All right, so quick update. After a few days of searching, it basically appears the only way I'd be able to really tell what's inside this thing is to completely take the transmission apart, split the cases, and even then, if it's a Cusco, you pretty much have to send them dimensions for them to tell you what it may or may not be. So I think I'm kind of SOL because I really don't want to go that far into it. The one good thing is, looking in here, you can see that there is a very small hole in the center. And from what I can tell, that basically means it is either a Cusco or a TRD limited slip. So I can pretty much confirm with that I have a limited slip differential. So pretty good just knowing that at this point in time. It drives pretty nice, no issues there. So I think I am going to leave it at that and then just get to work on cleaning this beast up. And that way we can slap this thing back together. So before I get involved in cleaning up the transmission, package just arrived from Hux Racing. So here we are. This is the kit, the titanium bolts. There's 4 sub bags in here, and then there's a little sheet that it comes with that says what each goes to, the 4 different sizes. So what I'm going to do before I install these, I want to weigh them as they are in this bag, just like that. And then everything I pull out of the transmission, I'll package it the same way and then weigh that so I can get an idea of what the weight loss is. So got my little scale right here, zeroed out. All right, so we've got 1 pound, 3.8 ounces for the titanium hardware. So I'm gonna write that down, and then I'll get to work on cleaning up this transmission. Once that's done, I'll do the bolt swap, and then I'll weigh the bolts that I pull out and see what we have as far as a weight savings. All right, so the plan for cleanup is I'm going to just kind of start going over it using these tub of towels, mechanics wipes, since they've got, soap, solvent, cleansing, whatever in them. I have kind of gone over this previously with brake parts cleaner, just try and break some of the stuff off. So hopefully with the tub of towels, I can make a pretty good dent in what is on it, clean it up, make the case look a lot better. So that is the plan. I'm going to get to work on trying to clean this thing up and see how it turns out. All right, update time. As you can see by that dirty puddle there, I've been going over this for a while. I went over it with some of these wipes here. Also sprayed it with some brake clean because I realized, there were some spots I hadn't got to, hence the puddle of black and all of the dark towels in there. It doesn't look much different just because the aluminum is stained from all the years. But now, at least wiping a rag over it, it's pretty clean. When the rag goes over it, the plated zinc there, it actually looks somewhat zinkish versus being black. It's definitely looking a lot better. you know, come up and over. And looking inside the bell housing, definitely not as dirty as it was. Looks a lot cleaner in there. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I got a lot of the surface grime off of it as best I could. I'll probably go over it one more time with, you know, the wet wipe just to see if I can, you know, try and get a little more off. But like I said, it's coming up pretty clean now. It's just the aluminum is stained from the years. So I think that is probably as good as it's gonna get cleaning up the actual case. One thing I do need to look into is this boot here is split in multiple spots. So I'm gonna see there's a part number on here. Gonna see if I can find this part. I'm hoping it's available. Highly doubt it is, you know, knowing my luck, but we'll see. Also in here is this is the square that people talk about, and this one does have some play in it. I have a spare one of these, and you can also just turn it sideways. So I'm gonna have to take apart the linkage since it's out right now and get that fixed as well. So that is something on the to-do list. All right, so I found the part number for that boot right here that's split. Searching online, I did find a couple of possible listings for it. So went ahead, placed an order. We'll see if it shows up as an item that is available or if the dealership that has it comes back saying no longer available. So more to come on that, but I at least got it ordered. So yeah, that being said, I think next is I'm going to start going one by one and replacing the bolts with these titanium bolts that I have here. What I am going to do is each one, I've got torque specs that I found online, and then I'm going to go ahead and put anti-seize on each bolt because of whole dissimilar metal issues. I don't want to have to worry about galling or galvanic corrosion or anything from the titanium and the aluminum not getting along. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on that and go from there. And just a quick little follow-up, here's the list of bolts that are included with the kit. And then I went online and found the torque specs for the individual bolt sizes, you know, the 12, the 10, or the M8. So that is what I have to work with, and you know, it gives you instructions on what you're going to be replacing. So yeah, gonna get to work on getting all these things replaced and go from there. All right, just want to give a quick update so you can see how this is going. You can see I got the whole end cap done here with these, and basically, like I said, I'm going one at a time. Remove one, put a new one in, using anti-seize on it, and yeah, just work my way around. So definitely taking some time to get this done, but yeah, end cap is done, and now I'm going to be on to the case bolts, and I'll keep at it. But you know, if you're planning on doing this, definitely plan on taking some time to do it, because there's quite a few bolts here to replace. All right, update time. First bag done. That is the 28 of the M8 hex head, or they're Allen hex head bolts. So what those covered is all of the case bolts at the end there, the end case, and then case bolts going around the perimeter, as well as the 3 that are inside the bell housing at the top that you can see there. So that's the 3 that equate bag of 27. Those have all been swapped and installed, and those were all torqued to 24 Newton meters. So now I'm going to move on to the next bag of bolts. All right, and I just got through the bag of 6 that are the larger hex Allen head bolts. 4 of those go here in the end of the shifter linkage. The other 2 are right here for the linkage on this side. Those I'm leaving loose because I did order that bellows here to replace this broken one, so I'm going to need to take that linkage off and also replace the little hex bushing that's in there, or the square bushing that's in there. So those 2 I'll leave loose at the moment, and I'm going to get to the next bag and see where those go. And one thing I just realized that I want to add is for this bolt here, the one that's provided in the kit's too long, so I did have to add 2 washers that I had laying around just to shim it up a little bit, and now it'll snug down just fine. So just a heads up, that's a shorter bolt, and I'm pretty sure that's where it's supposed to go based on the instructions. So yeah, that's where I put the bolt that was in the kit, and I just used a couple washers to shim it out. All right, next bag of bolts installed, and this was the bag of 6 M10s that actually have a hex head, not an Allen key head, and they're the shorter ones, and it's all for this rear mount bracket. See 1, 2, 3 there, and then 3 down the side. So that is where those 6 go. So that bag is done. That just leaves this bag of 7 here. And according to the instructions, this should be 2 for the starter, 2 for the front mount, and then 3 for the rear mount. I did order a starter for this. I found a nice used Denso unit because I want to put the 2GR starter in here. You can reuse the 3S, but the 2GR starter I think weighs about 5 pounds less, so I'm going to go that route. And then, so that'll go in there. I can't install the front mount to the transmission, which are 2 of the other bolts, because that will be installed once everything's in the car, because I still have the linkage and everything hooked to it. So I'll just put those bolts loosely in those holes. And then the last 3 should be for this mount bracket there. I have to go grab the Frankenstein mount and see if these bolts will work with that, or if I have to use the Frankenstein bolts that came in the kit. So that is next on my to-do list. All right, well, here we go. Complete bolt kit is installed. I was able to use the 3 bolts that go in here for the rear mount, but being that the Frankenstein mount is adjustable for side to side, I left them ever so slightly loose, but I did put anti-seize on them before I put them in, so I'll leave them right there until I get this actually installed. 2 starter bolts are in their holes, but obviously I won't be able to put those in for final mount until I have the starter and this transmission is bolted up to the engine. And then walking around to the other side here, you can see there's the last 2 of the 7 bolts. Those are for the front mount bracket, which those will that'll be installed once the engine is actually put in the car. So there we go. All of the bolts from the Hux Titanium bolt kit are installed. Next on the list, grab a scale and measure the bag and see where we end up. All right, so time to get a weight on the bolts that I removed. Here's the baggie, all the baggies that the Hux stuff came in. So let's throw this on the scale. All right, so it looks like this one is 2 pounds, 2.8 ounces. If I remember correctly, the Hux stuff was 1 pound, 3.8. So there you go. That's what you save weight-wise for your money. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I like the way these bolts look, so I'm pretty happy with it. No complaints. So yeah, that is job done as far as the bolt swap on the transmission. That being said, I think I'm going to call this a video here. You know, it's Sunday afternoon, want to get something posted, have some other stuff to do around the house. So yeah, I'm going to end this. Next video, I will probably actually be pulling the engine off the stand, so I can do a test fit of the transmission to the back of the engine, make sure everything is ground down where it needs to be ground, and everything fits good before I then go ahead and put the flywheel and clutch assembly on here and bolt these 2 together for good. So that being said, if you like what you're seeing or you're interested in learning more or following along, please like, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell. And yeah, there will definitely be more to come on this swap. Thank you for watching and have a great day.